Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Let me make sure I can hear myself. Oh, hi, my name's Ching Juhl. I'm hosting my own show. Hi, Snow Sugar Video. Hi, Yukiko, how are you? Yes. So today is January the 26th. 2 years ago today, I joined Youngan from all over the country, worked really hard for NGN's 2020 presidential campaign. In January, there's a team of people went to Iowa. First of all, we went for 1 week, and it's called Young Week. And I anticipated they're going there for 1 week. And then Young Week became Young Month. So some people stay the entire month of January because February the 3rd is the caucus day for Iowa. So Iowa is very important. Why is it important? Because in American primary election for president, meaning primary means it's before the big election, which is in November. So primary usually happens starting January all the way to uh, November. So I think all the way for September or August or something like that. I don't know the dates exactly. So primary means in both party. In Democrat, you need to select one person, one nominee, and Republican select one nominee. If you have third party, that's a different story. So NGN was running for the Democrat party as a nominee, and the first state you need to perform really well, which is Iowa. So we all went to Iowa, and I stayed there for 2 weeks instead of 1 week because they needed more people to go canvass to knock on doors. Andrew Yang was relatively new to the politics scene, and he was kind of unknown to a lot of people. So after I left Iowa, and I rested about a few days, and then I drove to New Hampshire. That is the second state. You need to perform well. So if in Iowa you don't do well, if you go to New Hampshire you don't do well, then you're pretty much finished. So NGN only got 1% in Iowa, and but we worked really hard for him. So I followed the whole movement until NGN suspended his campaign on February 11th. Hello, Shakfin, how are you? And it was a very surprise for me because I was ignorant. I was not prepared. I never have involved in any political situation or volunteer work before that. But this is a very special year, 2020, because it's like a two. Hi, Nell. Good to see you. Nell Nevius is a young gun, and he designed my Young Gun Diary, the poster for us. And he is a big contributor to Young Gun team. So I was just saying, now it's like looking at the film. I made my Young Gun Diary after a whole year of following the movement, I would say. And shooting is 1 year, about 1 year, using iPhone 11, and occasionally I have a second phone, which is the iPhone 10. And so I edited the film during the COVID, and that took about 8 months from thinking of it to watch all 200 hours of footage, to assemble them together, and to watch them over and over again and make sense of it, because it's just literally a lot of material. And the first assemble was 6 hours, and then trimmed down to shorter and shorter. And a lot of young gun helped me to watch. Nell helped me, Nick helped me, Peter Manku helped me. My very hardcore friend from college, her name is Vivian Xu, actually sat side by side with me. I remember in her apartment, watched with me the long version, which is close to 3 hours. And then we made notes and trim it down and trim it down. So right now, the version is 90 minutes. So I feel like this work is belongs to all of us, Yangan, and it's a lot of people's help and ideas. And for instance, Nell suggested that I make some narrations during the film because the film is called My Yangan Diary. So people say, "Who the heck are you?" You know. So I did actually added narration here and there. It makes more sense, like why it is my Yangan Diary, because it's so many events. I have to use the title. I thought about how to title this work. Some other names like passion, dedication, it appeared to me, but still it's so much event, and I use my Yangan Diary to tell the story, so it's very date driven, event driven, yet it's not boring people. So I think my canvas friend Nick is going to join me, and once he's joined me, we can have a dialogue, because he was my partner in very early stage. Like sometimes we already start to canvas 2019 in the fall, and then we went to Iowa together, and then also I met him in New Hampshire. So he is a very important comrade for me. And T Cloud, how are you? So T Cloud's music was used in the film. T Cloud is my friend at very very early, like let's see, October 2019. I was canvassing with the young guy, and we went to Columbus Circle in New York City, where I saw two musicians drumming in the center. So I was very curious. I went to film them a little bit, and then we became friends actually. So it's a very precious. He's from Canada. He's a Canadian Indigenous musician and drummer. And actually, his award-winning work, like he went into a #1 chart on many of the music of his genre. And so I used actually a small portion of his music at that canvassing day, October 5th, I believe. And yeah, so hi T, how are you? Tech for your needs. Hi, hello. Thank you guys to join me. And I wanted to talk about how I made this film with iPhone 11. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And in the meantime, maybe we can watch a short. Let, Tell me if you can see that, because I am going to stream my documentary trailer from here. It's the first time I do this, which means I am streaming. I don't know. I'm streaming from my desktop. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit. You can tell me if you can see or not. Here we go. A closing statement that was perfectly crafted, got to his main stuff, and told you why he's different and why that's good and why it goes to the question of electability. Andrew, yeah. I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left. It is not right.
It is forward, and that is where I'll take the country in 2020.
Okay, so I'm going to stop this because I'm not sure I can.
Show me the money.
UBI is freedom.
Okay, so I just played like a minute of it, or 38 seconds. Did you guys hear? Did you guys see it or not? Did you see it? I'm not sharing. Okay. All right. So I'll just have to go back to my my normal way of sharing, which is to share from YouTube. Sometimes when you share a video on YouTube, it's kind of spotty, you know. And we'll watch some of it.
A closing statement that was perfectly crafted, got to his main stuff, and told you why he's different and why that's good and why it goes to the question of electability. Andrew Yang.
I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left. It is not right. It is forward, and that is where I'll take the country in 2020. Show me the money. Show me the money.
UBI is freedom.
Who's American? Who wants $1,000 a month?
Are you a registered Democrat, though?
Yes. Show me what democracy looks like.
Once I started reading them, I couldn't put the book down. And everything he said in there makes complete sense.
Sometimes this world is changing too fast. I can never find a moment that seems it's gonna last.
Universal basic income, $1,000 a month, is something that's going to ultimately be necessary before long.
I am trying to stay in Iowa for as long as Yang needs me.
It's a little scary, but I can't wait to be here. Every door I knock on, I think about getting Yang to third, second, or first.
We want Yang. Let him in.
That's Israel. He's keep walking to another house to knock on doors to spread the word of Andrew Yang.
Intense.
Yeah.
Woman is like, get off my fucking property. You have no right being on my fucking property. You Chinese people, go back to fucking China.
All three of us have different candidates we're looking to support.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, Andrew Yang's not one of them.
We want Yang.
Tomorrow is a big day. Primaries in New Hampshire. We're going to see if we can actually pick up some people, take them to the polls.
I am a little heartbroken. This is not the end.
If I had $1,000,
It's about time.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the longer version of the trailer of the film. And the other version is 60 seconds. This is a longer. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? While I'm waiting for my partner to arrive. And yeah, so people ask me, did you use any extra gears? I just use a skinny tripod when I have to interview people. Altogether, I interviewed about 50 young gun, maybe 40 in Iowa, and then maybe 10 scattered around different country, different parts of country. So when I interview people, awesome, thank you, Mark. When I interview people, I use a microphone. I'll show you my microphone. Oh, sorry, let me go over there. I use a microphone called Shure MV88. It's always in my backpack. And like if I don't bring my wallet out, I bring my microphone. So this is the microphone. Yeah, Shure MV88. You can make it straight like that. And you just plug in to the lightning port. This is the phone I made the documentary, the iPhone 11. Now, when you plug into the microphone, you have to take the case off because the case is too thick. Yeah. And it's not working with this. So I will plug this in here. Yeah. Oh, Nick is here. So I plug in here and then I flip over. When I'm filming people in front of me, I go this way. When I need to interview someone, I go this way. So because the microphone has this end is a two side, right? It's a stereo. Well, when you interview someone, you try to set is a mono anyway. So has the two side. You can, so I can, my question here, if I go this way, right, I can hear my guest very well, but my voice will be reduced. But a lot of time when I cut my documentary, I do not really talk too much. I'll ask them a question and they'll have to repeat. I will say, where are you from? They cannot just say Florida. They'll say, I am from Florida. So I usually tell my guests to repeat my question. So when you interview someone, that's something you need to know is direct your, not everybody is skilled to do interviews. So you need to tell your interviewee said, repeat my question. That's usually on film. If your podcast is okay because people can hear you, the question and the answer, right? So Nick is here. Hi, Nick.
Hello, Ching. Hi, everyone.
Hi. It's my conspiracy partner.
Yep, there we go. Partner in crime.
I know. Great to see you. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, Ching.
Yeah. So, this is a very kind of tender time. Not only I wanted to tell people our film, but it's like pretty much 2 years anniversary, right? Like 2 years ago, we're jumping around in Iowa and in New Hampshire. Hi, Gwen. How are you?
Hi, Gwen. I saw Gwen there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gwen, I have been leaving you, Gwen, a message on your Facebook Messenger. And you need to check that because I want you to see the film. I made a different edition. It's 90 minutes now. And I added a Gwen in it. Yeah, I added a Gwen. Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, I also added you a little bit as if like there's not enough footage of you.
It's like the Nick extended edition or director's cut. Ching's director's cut.
I know now. Do you know people say this? My Young and Diary should be named as Nick and Ching.
That's the unofficial title.
Yeah. So what I add a couple of things. The 90 minutes is Gwen actually came. I think that was like the day before we went to Iowa, January the 4th. I remember that. It's my birthday. Do you remember that? Right?
Yes, I remember that.
She came to my apartment and she walked from the elevator and she buzzed my door with Lillian. She came with the Lillian Chu, and she came to teach us how to do a collecting signature for Andrew Yang, because for you to be a candidate, you have to have enough signature, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So yeah, Nick, your glasses is reflecting your computer, so I don't know how you do that. Yeah, I don't know how. It's maybe
I'm
too
trying
bright.
to.
Yeah, too bright. Oh,
okay.
Or maybe
I'll say like this. You can see my eyes.
Maybe you should do it without glasses. I don't know. So anyway,
maybe
you see,
I can do it without glasses.
I'm being a director again.
Yes, you are. That's right. Too much glare.
That looks good. That looks good. Yeah. Oh, you have a math hat. That's wonderful.
That's right. Signed.
I had my sweatshirt, so I can.
Yes.
That's our canvassing sweatshirt. Yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying Gwen. So Gwen knocked on our door and then came, right? And then so I made Gwen to to recapture. So I made her say, okay, now I'm gonna film you. You're gonna go out, and then you're gonna walk into my door.
That's
Yeah,
perfect. That's
that was
perfect
really great.
staging.
Yeah. It looks like somebody's filming, but people sometimes don't realize movie. It's all like fake. It's like so that's the only fake scene I had in the entire documentary, I think, right?
Yeah,
Then
no, I think so. Like it was improvised. I could see it, but that's like that's your little secret right there, putting it together.
So anyway, tell us, how are you doing, and what's going on? Any exciting news in your life after 2 years?
Yes. Well, I have been working for a broadband and telecommunications company since July. I recently got promoted there. So I've been working
Yay.
from home
Yeah.
since July. So that is definitely a welcome change, and really happy about just the opportunity there and the people that I've met, even though it's a virtual office setting, and people I've talked to from several states in the Northeast. So it's been a very good experience there. And what else? Still, watching what's going on Twitter. I'm still active on Twitter. I take a little break here and there, and then I come back. I say a couple of things.
Yeah.
Especially about the Forward Party. I'm just so very excited about this phase that it continues on, because the problems that Andrew Yang ran on, they still exist. They haven't been solved yet. So the work continues, and it's still a mission to make America think harder, because there's still a lot to do, and there's a lot to think about. And it's amazing, like from February of 2020, and 1 month later, his policy of a UBI, or really a basic income, direct cash relief, was put into effect. Like, just imagine. Many times I just think, what if Andrew Yang stayed in it, and then just 1 month later, boom. It's like,
that's
hey,
crazy.
Case in point, here's an example of how and why we need this. I think Andrew Yang was on time. I don't think that he was too early or ahead of his time. I think he was right on time.
Right.
And
exactly.
so it's so good.
And I also if you remember my first version, I didn't have that 2 clips from CNN. So when after he left the race, so CNN he left the race on February 11th, and March the 18th, I believe, that clip I used. Hopefully CNN is not going to sue me. And because he was he was interviewed by 2 CNN person, they were like, wow, just like, only a month after you left the race, and Donald Trump administration sort of implemented UBI. They don't call it UBI, but it's not really universal basic income. It's kind of like it has a condition, right? You have to make less than certain amount of money a year to be benefit, receive this $1,200 a month, or however later is like 600. So so it's very amazing. So I'm also very glad I know you have been canvassing for a California congressman, Erica.
No, Erica Rose. I did some phone banking. It's been a while since I've phone banked. It's just because of my job, but I'm going to get back into it, because I'm really excited for her campaign, what she stands for, and just her activism, her just sensitivity to what's going on in California, in her district. I believe this is District 30.
Okay.
Yes, and also, the passion that she had for Andrew Yang's presidential campaign came through on Twitter. It was just infectious. Just had to keep on watching and see what she was doing, just getting businesses to put signs up and everything. It was just so bright-eyed and optimistic. And I'm saying we definitely need someone like that in Congress more than ever. This is the time.
That's so I also wanted to mention that Andrew Yang seems like haven't been stopping, although his campaign ended, presidential campaign ended February 11th, and then he actually was writing a book, right? He's writing a book. And then on January the 14th, I remember those dates. January 14th, because 13th is his birthday. And 14th, he announced he's going to race for New York City mayor. And I was invited by Achis campaign to go to support. They just say, oh, come on the 14th in this park and please do not film. Okay. I was like, okay, but you know me, right? I'm like a rule breaker. I brought my cell phone, my tripod. And when I got there, oh my God, there's a lot of cameras by different media, Fox, ABC, NBC, whatever. So I was like, how come they can film? I cannot film,
Right.
So I just snuck in, and then it's like got my camera in front of everybody because my camera tripod is very low, So I captured his speech, for mayor, But those days, the what do you call COVID was pretty bad. So I did not go to canvas as much as I did, like in New Hampshire and Iowa. So tell me a little bit. Hi, Nell. Nell was there. Nell was like taking picture for me. I filming Nell. It was like so amazing. And Peter Manco is here. Yeah.
Hello,
so all
Peter.
the young guys. Nell, Peter.
Hello,
Yeah.
Yes,
And Nick, meet my friend. I met on a Clubhouse. Shark Fan Tech. He's been very supportive. He's a finance person, but he's been in my room a lot. Room meaning not in my bedroom. We call
Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Room, yes.
We call Clubhouse. Yeah. Because I conduct rooms,
Yes.
So he's been there a lot and very supportive. Yeah. So tell me, you watched the new version. Tell me about it. How you feel?
I watched it today, actually, before I joined you. And I gotta say, I'm happy I bought it on Vimeo. It's definitely worth it. You won't regret it. And you won't ask for your money back or anything like that. It is top quality. It is just a wonderful chronicling of the campaign of Yang 2020 and all the boots on the ground, all of the Yang Gang getting together and just together united to promote a vision of what this country can be if we think harder and we take action together. So it's just a snippet. It really is like a scrapbook of the campaign, a video scrapbook, like a sliver in time. Like we had so much hope, so much optimism. You can see it in the eyes. You can see it in what people said. You're like, yes, we can do this. This is the moment. This is the moment to say, hey, this was an inflection point where America changed, for the better. To go from MAGA to math. And I was very much in favor of that change. And I thought for sure that we were gonna pull it off in Iowa. But the thing is, I have no regrets. It's such a tale of humanity and just renewed optimism about the political future of this country and what it could be and where it could go. So I think that's what your film encapsulates so much. Like I was even thinking of the coffee table book that Mark Klockow put out. So it's kind of like yours is like the video version of that, like the movie version of that, the film and the book. It's just the artistic talent that's been harnessed in the Yang Gang and put out there. It's just you can't make it up. You really can't. And I was just so happy to watch it. And it's still surreal for me. I was like, I was a part of this. I see myself in scene after scene after scene. And I wanted to say this.
You're the main character. You are on IMDb now.
Yes. Right. You gotta get credit for that.
Yeah.
I remember.
But you were like really passionate. I think you were the first one actually influenced me, even the very first day when I know Andrew, because I went to Andrew Yang's rally on May 14th. It was raining, a lot of people.
Yes.
And I did not know who Andrew Yang was. I went just because I was curious, and my
Yes.
friend asked me to go, and my friend didn't even go. So can you believe it's all fate? I tell you, if my friend came, right,
Right.
I would be with my girlfriend, whom I haven't saw for a while. We would be yabba 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 yabba. I would not have met you,
That's right.
right? I would
That's
not
right.
have filmed so much. So
Mhm.
sometimes I like to go out when I'm by myself, like traveling even. I
Mhm.
like not have any companion because
Mhm.
I'm constantly filming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
drive someone crazy. So that day, Andrew Young came at 7:30. I was like, he was like this. I was like, who the heck is this guy? I was like, I don't know him. And and then eventually after finish, and a lot of people went to chase him, want his signature or something, autograph. And then I turned around, I saw you and your sister,
Yes.
right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then I start to interview you, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then that clip is up in the film, and you were
Mhm.
like very articulated. You said so many things that I have never heard before because I have no idea.
Right. I said the nation wave thing. I'm like, you're probably like, what? What's he talking about? And then I swear, I just went with it. I was like, Andrew Yang has his hand on the pulse of America right now.
Yeah,
Freedom from depression and substance abuse, talking
yeah.
about issues that other candidates aren't talking about. So I was really happy to be there. It was a rainy day. It was kind of raw, but I didn't mind it. I was rocking my Yang shirt. I had my Yang gear on. My sister was a Bernie supporter, but she went with me. Andrew Yang was definitely like her number two or number three. Really loved his ideas and his policies because we
Mhm.
watched The Breakfast Club together. That's how we both heard
Oh,
about Andrew Yang.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was a
But
wonderful point. Yeah.
but you did your homework though. Like, when did you start it?
It was right after that interview on The Breakfast Club. That was late February
Okay,
of 2019.
okay,
So I was
okay.
like, I got to read up on him and I got to learn what I can learn. I saw the Instagram page,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Facebook page, and then I went to yang2020.com.
yeah,
I was just like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
on board. And,
uh-huh,
and then I saw the Joe Rogan podcast and I'm like, yeah, this
yeah.
is my candidate. This is who I'm going to support. Because I wasn't excited about the other candidates out there. I was like,
It
okay, I
was
know
really
Biden's going to
crowded
confirm.
though. Like,
Yeah,
how
really
many
crowded
people?
field.
Around 18 or something, right? It was like a lot
Yeah.
of people.
At
Yeah,
one point, I think it was
yeah.
like maybe like 20 or more.
Oh,
I was
okay.
excited about Marianne Williamson actually
Oh,
because
yeah,
when I heard what she had to say on the stage, I have a
yeah,
copy of her book, The Politics of Love. I feel the politics of love and the war on normal people, they go together. They really
yeah,
do. The message just
yeah.
overlaps. So I love it
I,
when they get together and talk. Yeah.
it's nice. They're still talking. They're like
Yes,
doing podcasts together. That would
absolutely.
be a nice ticket, huh? That would be a nice
Uh-huh.
ticket.
That's my dream. That's my dream
Yeah.
ticket right there. Yang
Yeah,
Williamson.
yeah. That would be so cool. So anyway, and then after the May 15 event, my next turning point is June 4th. June 4th, I was invited to a fundraising in Princeton Club in New York, in Manhattan, and they want $1,000 to enter because it's a fundraising. I was like, I wanted to come. I want to go to filming. You should pay me for filming. So actually, I negotiated with them. So
Yeah.
don't follow my footsteps. I negotiated with the organizer. I said, "Can I pay you $500?"
Ah, there you go. Half. Meet me
Yeah,
halfway.
yeah. So I had to pay, damn, $500 to go in there to work. But
Wow.
that event really changed me because I saw Andrew Yang very closely.
Mhm.
I listened to what he has to say, and he was so real. He was so wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I videoed the entire thing. I only used very little in my film
Mhm.
because sorry, I'm getting a Kleenex because they did not want me to film them. Like they don't want to show their face, right? They don't want to show people they're supporters of political because they're
I
all
see.
like a Chinese mafia, you know.
The business
No, no. I'm
people,
just
made
kidding.
people.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
no,
I'm
they're
kidding.
like business owners, you know.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
somebody, you know. I'm kind of nobody. So oh, you know who was there?
Who was?
That
Who's
guy,
it?
very crazy guy. What's his name? Paper Boy's Prince was there.
Oh, Paperboy Prince. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
I
running
took
for mayor.
some, yeah, I took some really good picture of him. So
Yeah.
maybe later on I can sell them. Because I used my Sony camera, and he was beautiful. He was wearing some kind of, you know, he always wearing these ethnic like African outfit, you know, and with his hair, you know, on top, you know, with something on his hair. So it was really beautiful, and so I took some pictures. So get back to that event. At that event I saw NGM for the first time. I was really kind of like, I just started liking him. You know, I was not, I didn't feel anything the first time seeing him. So then they gave us a book. They gave us The War on Normal People. Everyone got a copy. So I read that book. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, The War on Normal People. Yeah. So oh, I have the this scrolling around and also downstairs. And hold on. So
Okay.
I have the scrolling around. That's the link for the film. Now the entire film is on Vimeo on demand. And thank you for your contribution. You know, I know you've
course.
seen it before, but you made effort to purchase. It's like $4.99. People can watch it within 48 hours, and then they can buy it and download it for like $9.99. Right?
Right. I want to
So
keep it. I wanted to keep it. I was like, I'm not gonna rent this. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna keep it. Of course.
I know, because if you don't have it, who knows? You know, I posted on YouTube or I posted it on Vimeo. What if the world goes to like internet goes to a tragedy, you know, disappear or something, right? That you have
Right.
no control of, you know. So
Yeah.
anyway, so June 4th, that's a very important day for me, that I got the book and then I read it. Not only I read the book, I bought the audio. So I listen to it also whenever I can. Yeah. And it's a very wise book also. But you know, did you read the forward yet?
Yes, I read it. I have it in print and I have the audiobook too.
Me too. Me too. I was reading it and then I couldn't continue read because I am so bad. I don't read the book. I don't have a patience sitting down holding a book. You know, I'd rather look at my phone. So I finally bought the audio, and I
Okay.
listened to the audio. It's
So good.
so good.
So good. So good. Especially in the beginning, it just sets the tone, you know, just like, hey, this is where we've been, this is where we're going, this is what we need to do. It is a progression.
Yeah.
This is something that was not built overnight, and
Yeah.
it's going to continue to grow
Yeah.
because we have this increased disenchantment with the duopoly, with the establishment parties of the left and the right, the Democrats, big D Democrats, big R Republicans, right? But I love forward is right down the middle, and that's where we need to be, not at the extremes.
Yeah.
We got to be right down the middle with good ideas that actually work. None of this constant virtue signaling that's going on, you know, this political posturing and just to get attention and get votes and appeal to the extremes of either side of the spectrum. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly. And more people are getting fed up with it. And that's good. That's why we need a forward party. We need it. We need it now more than ever because it is a party that's dedicated to results, dedicated to sensible reforms, also respect for each other. We need to come together. There needs to be reconciliation in this country. I am increasingly concerned, as Andrew Yang is, as he expresses in his book, just the amount of polarization is tantamount. It is equal to what it was before the Civil War. We don't want a hot civil war. We have a political civil war. We have an increasingly social civil war. We have racism that's rampant. Racism against all kinds of people, against African Americans, increasingly against Asian American folks. I mean, it tears me apart when I learn about these crimes, these acts of violence, senseless acts of violence against people, against Americans.
Right.
When really we need each other, more than ever. And that's the thing. I just love the message of the Forward Party. We need to see what brings us to the table again and talk to each other again, not cancel each other out. Because if we're all canceled out, then we're all silent. And that is the worst thing, I think. Also, I think laughter is important. We need to be able to laugh at ourselves again. I don't like this idea of, people trying to cancel comedians. Comedians are very much the most honest social commentators in our society. And as long as society can laugh.
I thought about comedian at the fundraising. What's his name? Chen. The guy he was talking about.
Oh, Ronnie Chang.
Ronnie Chang. I didn't have a good footage of him because I was doing a live streaming. So he had a little skit. He said something like Chinese, like, we don't give a crap, right?
About Thanksgiving. He says, Thanksgiving means nothing to me. We don't work for Christmas. Do you understand? I remember that. Yes.
That was so funny.
Yes.
That was so funny.
Get an Asian person to the White House. We need an Asian president right now.
Yeah.
We'll find out what is wrong, and then he'll fix it. We'll fix it. I loved it. It was perfect.
And also the comedian, what's his name? Very famous one. The
Dave
black.
Chappelle?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
He was endorsing Andrew Yang, and he did something for him. But when Andrew Yang was running for mayor, and he was going to do a volunteer, like a show for Andrew Yang's campaign, and then I heard Andrew Yang campaign denied him.
I think it was, from what I heard, it was the consultants. The consultants that were like, no, don't do that. That's not a good look for you. But the fact of the matter is, we know that that's Andrew Yang's favorite comedian.
Yeah.
So it would have been very, I would say, honest and authentic for Andrew Yang to have Dave Chappelle do a show for him as he was running for mayor. It just shows how in touch he is. And Dave Chappelle's comedy is very spot on. It is very well thought out and intelligent. It is a finely woven tapestry is what it is. Like, I know on Twitter, they were coming down on him trying to say that he's transphobic. No way. If you had watched the whole routine, you would see the compassion that Dave Chappelle has for a particular, fan who is an aspiring trans comedian. And then you'll see that, it's just like, wow, he just really gets people. And there are people that were getting in line to go see his shows even after there were attempts on Twitter to cancel him. Why? Because people know who he is and he has that fan base. And he's just true to who he is. So he did some phone banking during the presidential campaign in South Carolina. It was awesome. I saw some video of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just too bad, huh? I think Andrew Yang broke a lot of rules, like, how he went in, after he had a conversation with Joe Rogan, his name was, like 10 times more broadcast to anybody, his peers. And he did it very well, consider he was unknown, right? And he was able to like motivate us, motivate you. And it's infectious, right? It's like I saw you, and then I saw you again, and then we ended up went to Iowa together, right? And then we stayed in Iowa for 1 week because it's called Yam Week, yeah.
Right.
And
That's
then we stayed for extra week because they asked us to stay if we can help out, because they realized they thought there's more people going, but actually it's not as many went to Iowa. Yeah.
Right.
So in Iowa, there was 11 campaign offices. and you think it's a lot, but it's not a lot because some other candidates had more and had more offices. So I think it also has to do with money. They were very tight on money. So, but I think the entire sort of my canvassing or running around with Yangon, the highlight is still, I think, no offense to New York people, it's still in Iowa. Why? You know why?
I think it's just and Andrew Yang described it as a magical place, and it really is, because it is a place where people will still have their holiday Christmas lights on after Christmas. I noticed that. Very popular thing to do there, and lots of open-minded people. I didn't really encounter flat out rejection over there. A lot of people were listening. You have the city where we stayed, it was Iowa City, which is very like metropolitan area, right? And then you go to a place like Waterloo, or you go to the countryside where we did some canvassing over there. You see different sides of Iowa, and then all kinds of people, those who are more in rural setting, more those that are more, city dwellers, that kind of thing. A lot of college students. There's a nightlife in Iowa City, believe it or not. And we got to enjoy some of that.
Yeah, we even found the hot pot right next to the hotel. Yeah,
within walking distance. It was perfect.
Yeah. So Iowa City is pretty cool. But
yes.
do you still remember the second week we assigned to Waterloo?
Yes.
And we stayed in this kind of a little less interesting, less fancy hotel than Graduation Hotel. And do you remember I got bitten by bugs?
It was more gritty. That's for sure. There's more gritty.
I should have made that into the film, It's like
yes.
I saved a bug and I put it in the plastic bag and I took it to the front desk. I said, I'm being bitten by this thing. They're like, they don't believe me, They don't believe me.
You had the evidence. Wrongdoing. There was wrongdoing there. A bug assaulted you.
That was funny. That was so funny. But now back to the movie. Were you surprised? Like I was able to capture all these things because I never really told you I was making a film, right? Did I ever told you?
No, not at first. I knew that you had a lot of footage. You had hours upon hours of footage to go through, raw footage, and then cutting it, that meticulous process. I knew something was going to happen with it. But when you presented it as the film, My Yang Gang Diary, I'm like, wow, this is going to be something. And I never would have anticipated that it was going to be this project that you were taking on, and the fact that when COVID hit, you had nothing but time to work on it. It was like
I know. I remember one day I was little kind of bored, or just like like sometimes when you're always being locked up and you don't know what to do and you can't concentrate. So I just started to drive towards north. I remember when I get there, I even called you. Remember?
Yes.
I went to like a town very close to Andrew Yang's hometown, like New Paltz.
Yes.
New Paltz, right?
Right.
Yeah. That is also an important day because I locked myself 2 days in the hotel room, and I watched a lot of footage, and I labeled them. I labeled them on index cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason I have to do that is because I need to be away from my own home, because at my home, sometimes it's difficult to do one project, concentrate. You get up to watch TV, you get up to drink a water, you get up to answer phone. But when I'm in a hotel, it was like I can't really do much, other than I go get a lunch or dinner next door restaurant. That's about it.
Yeah. No
and this,
distractions.
yeah,
No
yeah, 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 yeah,
distractions.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a good 2 days of watching the footage. Of course,
Yeah.
I had it all together. I calculate it's about 200 hours.
Wow. What?
Yes,
That's
yes,
incredible.
yes.
That's
But because
incredible.
remember when we go to Andrew Yan's birthday on 2020 on January 13th, we went to the
Mhm.
Juhl University. I
Yep.
I also filmed the entire event. So a
Okay.
lot of time entire event is last 1 hour and a half, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So if you count all of these, of course, I don't really need to sit there watch every second of the meeting, But yeah, so I would say about 200. And tell us a little bit, like in Iowa or in New Hampshire, you did not know I was. You didn't take me seriously, like in terms of filming, right? Or you used to
Oh.
it. No,
No, I
it's
was
like
used to it.
you did not know I was making something. You knew I was filming you guys, but you get used to it, right? Tell
Yeah,
me.
I was definitely used to it because I knew you had a YouTube channel, Jewel Media, and a following as well. So I was like, okay, I understand. We're gonna chronicle this. You're gonna document it on film. So I had no problem with it, and I wasn't self-conscious about it either. You asked me questions as I was canvassing. I'm just giving you my answers like off the cuff. So whatever came out, came out. Whatever I said, I did, whatever. So none of this is like scripted or rehearsed or orchestrated or anything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's what gives the very real raw and human character to the whole story, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a roller coaster. We were going through ups and downs of what we were doing. We're strangers in a strange land in Iowa. But one thing that is familiar is the Yang Gang and the mission. And the fact is, we got to do everything that we can, even if it's a losing battle, uphill battle. We went from New York to Iowa with a goal in mind, guided and fueled by our passion uh, for Andrew Yang's campaign and his policies and what this movement meant and what it still means to us and to people across the country. So Iowa, being there, it was a wonderful experience. It really was. And it was the first time I'd been there, you know, uh, and meeting Yang Gang from across the country. Like you just see the enthusiasm, even though it wasn't, a large amount of people. That's okay. We made up for it, and
Yeah.
we covered a lot of ground together, and we made a positive impact, a positive impression.
Hmm.
Yang Gang, and being there, Iowa, and it was better for it, I think, because they got to hear about some new forward thinking ideas that are going to benefit them as well as people in the metropolitan areas like New York City and LA, etc. Andrew Yang was thinking about the people of Middle America as well, and speaking to their concerns about the economy and and social issues as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many footage I did not use, and also I did a lot of live streaming. Do you remember we live streamed in the last few days before NGN suspended it? We were in New Hampshire. We went to a town next to the water. Do you remember that?
Yes,
With
yes, I
with
remember that.
with Joy Low.
Yes, that was Plymouth, right? I think that was
Yeah,
Plymouth, New
yeah,
Hampshire.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, we did canvassing there, knocking on doors. And really, I don't remember really talking to that many people. A lot of people weren't home.
yeah.
Um, Someone I did speak to said, I think Andrew Yang would be good, in a cabinet position, or in Congress, but not president. And, we just had, a brief conversation about that and talking about the issues. And everything about it was very cordial.
Mhm.
And just a lot of people that were, curious about why we were there. What
Mhm.
does math stand for? It's such conversation started. It's
Mhm.
like, are you a math teacher? Like, no, it stands for Make America Think Harder.
Yeah.
this is different from, MAGA, and this is how and why,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. I know we're looking for someone who can beat Donald Trump, right? So
Mhm.
how about the opposite of Donald Trump? An Asian
Mhm.
man that loves math,
Mhm.
it's like, and also as a policy that will change the economy, for everyone. It's not going to vilify anyone, whether you're red or blue. The freedom dividend is for you.
Mhm.
And that's, I loved it. I found it's just very much a policy that would reconcile things instead of pulling people further
Right.
apart.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and something I did not put in the film, like you were reading a letter. You wrote a letter. I'll show you this, okay? It's just
Okay.
I just cannot possibly put everything into the film, right? So, but
Right.
still, one of these days I want to do a what do you call it? Director's cut?
Okay.
Okay, I show a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of this. Okay, this is
Okay.
it's a very I along the way, everywhere I go, I make a video and I make a I capture things and then I make a video the next day or maybe next few days. So I have probably accumulated 40, 50 videos of us already. So I know my material pretty well. But even that, I can't put everything into one movie just because too much, right? So
Right.
here, this is a clip of you reading the letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet, I think. I don't think
No.
so. Okay, here we go.
No.
Canvas, actually 10 family on the canvas. Usually we only get to speak to about 2, so it's 20%.
Wait, this
Sometimes
happens
we
sometimes.
leave a chocolate with the literature. Sometimes we leave a NGN's book in PDF, and sometimes we leave a letter written by Nick. And I think it's a very moving letter. So I want Nick to read to us.
My letter has a title, Hindsight is 2020. Why I endorse Andrew Yang for president, dated January 5th, 2020. Dear Sir, Madam Iowan, my name is Nick Rivera from Connecticut, visiting Iowa City, canvassing as a volunteer for Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang. I'm in my mid-30s and a freelance professional voiceover artist and writer. If you told me 6 months ago that I would be at your doorstep, I would have laughed you to scorn. It is my conviction that Yang is the best candidate to secure the nomination and win the presidency on November.
On my YouTube channel. It's quite long. It's like 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna to yeah. So but it's just to remember all these old times. It's pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at okay, I'll show you. And yeah, continue. So basically, we tell us how we're going to use this letter, dear, please.
Okay. Well, I was going to, leave it on the doorstep or on the doorknob of of an Iowan, of someone that's going to potentially vote in the caucus, participate in the caucus, and as a way of adding a personal touch, right? To say, hey, this is a personal appeal from me to you. You've never met me before, but the fact that you have this great responsibility before you to decide what electability looks like, I just want to let you know, implore you to look into Andrew Yang. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I humbly respect the responsibility that you have before you. And I just hoping that I'm able to convince you, able to nudge you to get you Yang curious. And then I know once you start looking up videos on YouTube and you start reading up on Andrew Yang, he'll do the rest. I just got to get your attention about him. So that's what this letter was about, and just leaving it as I was canvassing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yep. So I was
wonderful.
able to get copies made at the graduate at the hotel. I'm so happy that concierge helped me out with that to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, there it is. That's the beginning.
Yeah.
The music.
So I show you the beginning. This is the beginning. It's called intro. I did an intro 1, intro 2, intro 3. There's different intros. So yeah, I'll share with you. Intro, it's almost like a trailer. It's very similar to trailer, but has a little bit of my narration. I added narration because a lot of young guys, including now, asked me to add who the heck am I, because it's called My Yangon Diary. So who is this person,
Yes.
So here we go. Okay, I'm going to take us out of the screen. Okay, so it's a big. I got mail. My name is Ching Juhl. I have a passion for capturing events. Today, I'm gonna meet Andrew Yang for the first time.
I understand why you looking crazy. And the demons fill me up, got me feeling hazy. All I got is the light, him keep me up. Like a thief in the night, him creeping up.
You know that what we did to the manufacturing jobs, we will now do to the retail jobs, the call center jobs, the fast food jobs, the truck driving jobs, and on through the economy.
Andrew Yang! Andrew Yang! And I'm going to be offering real solutions. Americans will immediately see the difference, and that's how we're going to win in 2020.
A closing statement that was perfectly crafted, got to his main stuff, and told you why he's different and why that's good and why it goes to the question of electability. Andrew Yang.
I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump. It is not left. It is not right. It is forward, and that is where I'll take the country in 2020.
Big brown eyes staring back at me. Something familiar in the things I see. Heart beating fast, I don't wanna be standing here when he comes for me. Can't look up, babe. It's scaring me. Feel like something's coming after me. What is it? Something's coming after me.
I grew up in Shanghai, China, and I studied violin and viola. I left home at 17, joined Chinese Army Orchestra. In those days, that was one of the best career moves for many musicians. 1985, after receiving a full scholarship, I came to the United States to further my musical education. I am also a filmmaker. I was invited to document this event.
And exhale, shift your weight forward, find your high plank. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just one of the intro. Now actually is slightly different. Yeah. I think, yeah. So not major change. Yeah. So, I was just, every time I watch, I mean, it's like I supposed to get sick of this film, right? Because I have to watch and then editing and watch, but still, something triggers me because I think our passion is so raw, right? And yeah,
so real. And the thing is, this is before, COVID hit and everything. So these are my last moments of really like pre-COVID normal. I have a selfie when I was standing in New Hampshire at the same room where Andrew Yang announced that he was going to suspend his campaign. This is moments before the announcement came in. It actually came in prematurely, like Politico and others. It came up on my phone, these notifications. Then Sarah Hambrick, who was with the heading the or leading the CT Yang Gang, Hartford Yang Gang, showed me on her screen. It says Andrew Yang is announcing he is suspending his campaign. Like I saw it even before it came out of the horse's mouth, before we heard it out of the horse's mouth, basically. And I was like, oh man, they couldn't even wait. Like they just had to break it. And like right here,
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I was preparing myself, but I still didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like shock, and it came in waves for me. Like at first I wasn't like completely broken down or up about it.
You
It's
haven't
'cause I was
registered yet, right? It's almost like if
right.
you don't want to believe that's the real truth.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
how I felt,
Yeah.
and then as time went on, days after, then it really set in, and I
Yeah.
went through a post Yang 2020 a real depression where I stayed in bed. I came down with a cold. I was sick because I was
Yeah.
just like everything came down, you know what I mean?
You look pretty awful the next day.
Oh yeah, no, I was wiped. No, terribly. I mean,
I
it
was
was
like,
really bad.
how do you feel? I was still filming you. How do you feel?
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
you're like a bullshitting, in front of a camera. It's like how
Yeah.
positive.
You saw me at my best and you saw me at my worst in the film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you saw
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
high where I was volunteering.
Yeah.
I actually was volunteering as people were coming into the fundraising event in New York City.
Mhm.
You showed that briefly, and that's where Ronnie Chang he performed there too. I remember I was checking people in using Act Blue. I got to be somewhat of like a helper to the bodyguard.
Mhm.
So I was welcomed up the stairs past the velvet rope, and then I saw Andrew, I saw Zach. I saw Zach Brahman as I was checking people in. He said, "Hey, nice hat," and it was this hat right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a time where I was asked, "Hey, like stand here with Evelyn,
Yeah.
and make sure people that after they meet Andrew and they're coming down the stage here, that you
Yeah.
help guide them down so nobody falls, nobody gets hurt, that
Yeah.
sort of thing." So I
Yeah.
got to briefly speak with Evelyn Yang, and I said, I'm here, I'm volunteering, and she said, "I love volunteers." So it was so cool to hear that from her and to like stand next to her. I was just like, wow, is
Yeah.
this really happening? You know what I mean? I was there, but it was like a dream.
Yeah.
That was a real major high.
You snuck in as a volunteer.
Yeah, I got in as a volunteer, and I do want to
Because
share this too.
I
Okay.
remember, I think I had to also pay to go in for that event.
Mhm.
I think I don't remember how much. It's maybe $300 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I was a
yeah.
volunteer, and I got
No,
in. I
I
got
I
in for
said
free.
no. Don't forget. I saved your ass. I said you're my assistant.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's in the film too. It says production assistant. I got a
Yeah.
credit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You got a
there you
credit.
go. It's
Definitely.
a long, drawn out assignment,
Yeah, but you really helped. You helped. Sometimes you were filming for me
Mhm.
when I'm in the frame, right? And
Yes.
some other young guy helped too. So oh, sorry, I dropped my phone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to shout out also a lot of young guy was in the film. First of all, I want to shout out for the musicians. The opening was music by Henry Duhart. I heard his music. Henry Duhart is the guy in the trailer who was an African American who was like just waving his hand. He didn't talk much, but in the film, I interviewed him. So Henry Duhart's music is the beginning. It's called Hymn. It's a kind of R&B style. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And in the middle, I use also. Another young gun is who is that? Tell me. Another young gun's music I used. With the A. Adam! Yeah. Adam Bernhardt, right? Sorry.
Adam Burton.
Burton.
Yeah.
Not Bernhardt. Burton. Adam's music was used 2 songs. One of them is like the easy end. I think I used either before it's no, yeah. When we were leaving Iowa, I used his music to tide us. We were in the snow. We drove, and then the next thing you see is we're on airplane, right? And then
Yes.
I looked down Iowa. It was like all the houses, and then I typed goodbye, Iowa. And every
Oh,
time when I go there, when I go watch that, I cry
yeah.
every single
It's
time.
powerful. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah. And part of it is his music.
Hmm.
His music. It was like it just climaxed in that way. And
Hmm.
oh, okay. Tell us the story. We were late for airplane.
Oh boy, yes. When you see that the scene in the movie where you ask me, "Hey, can you clear the ice? Can you scrape it off? Our car is frozen." It
Our
was, and
rental
it's
car.
a
Rental car.
rental car
Yeah.
stayed frozen.
Yeah.
There was no way of breaking the ice. It was just way too cold. It was frozen on there. And
Yeah.
after we were finally able to warm up the vehicle, the rental,
Yeah.
and get to the airport, it was too late. Too
Yeah.
late. So we stayed. We had to stay an extra day and then get
Yeah.
a
No.
flight. We had to get a
Yeah.
flight in the morning, but it had to be um, I forgot what it's like a standby type thing. I'm trying to remember what the term was used.
No,
We didn't have
we
a
have
ticket.
to when
Yeah.
we get there, we
Yeah.
were late. The airplane already left 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
So so
Yeah.
we have a two choice. Either
Hmm.
we buy two more tickets,
Yep.
right?
Right.
Or we say, oh, first of all, everybody, when you go to airport, if you're late, right? There's a
Mhm.
protocol. It's called flat tire. It's called flat
Okay.
tire. Remember? Meaning
Yes. Yes. Yes.
it doesn't mean your tire really flat. It just means you were late, not intentionally late because the
Yeah.
flat tire. Yeah. So
Yeah.
because that you're qualified to be on a tomorrow or the next flight of waiting list. So
Yes.
if they put you in the waiting list, but it's no guarantee you will get
Hmm.
on, but so you don't have to pay for it. Okay. So
Gotcha.
next morning we had to go get there pretty early, like I don't know, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
or eight
It's
o'clock.
really
I don't
early.
remember. So we get there early and we were on waiting list, and then we got
Mhm.
on without paying extra money, right?
Right. Because the
Yeah,
hotel
but
was basically across from the airport. So
yeah,
if
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
missed it, if we missed it, that would have been really bad. Like, really? We
yeah,
can't even
yeah,
make this one? No. Yeah.
yeah. But we also met someone really nice. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
tell
Yes.
us, tell us.
He was a musician, right? He played piano, right?
No, no, no. I'm
At
not
the
saying
airport.
that. That pianist is good. I'm trying
Oh,
to
okay.
put your put your. Is it okay if I put your Instagram and Twitter on here?
Sure.
Is
Yes,
it?
you can.
Yeah, I'm typing it. So no,
Okay.
no, no. We met a woman at the breakfast.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Yes, yes. During breakfast. That's right.
Tell
I remember
us.
her.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember she was very nice, very conversational,
Yeah,
and we talked to her, about why we were there, talked about Andrew Yang a little
yeah.
bit. Didn't she say that she had it was a relative, I don't know, it was a nephew
No,
or
okay, you forgot. You forgot. I
oh, I
remember that
forgot.
because
Okay,
you
you
were
remember.
eating. I was the
Oh,
one.
okay.
So I think we were wearing young gear. She noticed
Yes,
us,
we were
so
wearing
she
Yang
was
gear.
next
Okay.
door. She's
Yeah.
African American. She's a
Yes.
professor, and she was visiting someone. And then she said her son is a young guy, hardcore young
Okay.
guy. So
Yes.
we
Yes.
struck a conversation, and she started to tell us like, just all kind of things. Yeah, like she started to tell us her son and her daughter, her son and her son's wife, they need a universal basic income. They had a
Mm,
hard time,
yeah.
maintain, their lifestyle because this and that, like he has to work many jobs, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I did not include that clip in just
Okay.
because I ran out of space,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she kept talking, and she's like, "You can't
Mhm.
stop her."
Right. And it's a sensitive subject too. She was very vulnerable in
Yeah,
telling us about how
yeah,
much a UBI, universal basic income,
yeah,
would help her, and also, help her family too, help her son, and
yeah,
And yeah,
Yeah.
and his son's
And
wife.
then
Yeah.
and then when we go to airport, we met this musician, right? Because we had to
Yes.
wait. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was very nice. He's singing in the airport,
hmm
kind of jazz musician or something, right?
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were yelling him.
Yes, we were. Oh yeah, no doubt. And he heard us out. He heard us
Yeah.
out. So
So there's a verb. So when you try to convince someone, or tell them who Andrew Yang was, it's called yanning, right? Yan
yes.
became a verb and noun.
It's like I yanged that one,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
I'm yanging. When you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yanging,
And then we were like,
time.
we were leaving somewhere. We just yan them.
Yeah. It's just a walk by yanging. It's just hey, give them some swag.
Yeah,
Give them a button. Give them a
yeah,
pamphlet
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
whatever, a card with a website or a QR code.
yeah, yeah,
And check it out.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about Jack Chan.
Wow. He was like but you gave him a name. You said that he was like leading, like guiding the troops,
No,
a
no, no,
shepherd.
no. Yeah,
Oh,
shepherd. He's a
you called him a
canvas
shepherd.
shepherd.
Canvas
Canvas
shepherd.
shepherd. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
So in the
just
morning,
yeah.
tell us in the morning what happened. Like after we have breakfast, what does he do? What does he do?
What does he do? I mean, he tells us we gotta get going. Everybody's got to be gone. Everybody's got to go to where they're going to be canvassing, not staying in the house. After you're fed, you go out there and you do what you came here to do. You go yanging. You eat well, and then you yang well. That's how you do it. It was very regimented, like an army. But
Yeah.
he shepherded us, but he did it with just kindness.
Love.
A smile
Yeah.
on his face, love. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just so
Yeah.
palpable. He was the most hospitable.
Yeah.
He and his wife Laura. I mean, just inviting us in, taking
Yeah.
us in, taking care of us, and we were just all motivated, to do the work.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful.
He
A
has a
wonderful experience.
pool table in the middle living room, and it's full of food.
Yes, there's a smorgasbord, like a plentiful, bountiful
Yeah.
feast of snack food, hors
Yeah.
d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
If you went hungry at Jack and
Yeah.
Laura Chen's house, it's
Yeah.
your fault.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
fault if you
I
went
know.
hungry. because
They
there's
also
so
have
many
a
options.
bar. They have a bar, all kind of drink, and
Yes.
I don't really drink their drink. I'll buy my own wine, and then I'll
Yeah.
drink. But if you want to drink, you can, So he's very
Mhm.
generous. And Jack Chan was an all-time Republican. And then
Mhm.
after he read NGN's book, The War on Normal People, and he became Yangan. So he became Yangan pretty early, like sometime
Mhm.
October 2019. Yeah, a little earlier. Wait,
Okay.
October? Oh, but anyway, yeah. So I actually met him first time remember we went to Nashua on
Yes.
January 1st. Yeah.
You spoke to him while we were in line, right?
Yeah, I
in
was
line.
interviewing him when I
Yeah.
was waiting online getting signature of Andrew, and so
Mhm.
that clip was used in the film. Yeah. So
Yes, that was wonderful.
do you remember how I fell down?
Yes, in Iowa. You have a battle wound, Ching. You had one. And the thing is, I was walking with my canvassing partner, Yunjae, right? So
Yeah.
we were walking together, and all of a sudden I hear a thud, like a thump. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I also heard it was Tully's, Arturo's flag, right? Like I heard it fall down too, the wood. I was like, what's going on? And I turn and look, and you are face planted on the pavement. I'm like, what happened? We went running after you. We were like, what's going on? I thought you fainted. I didn't know you
Yeah.
tripped.
Yeah.
And I was just like, is she getting up? I was like, oh no. Did her head bust wide open or something? Like, no, I can't deal. I mean, I was relieved it wasn't that bad, as bad as it could have been. It looked really bad, especially since you didn't get up right away. And
Yeah,
that
I
was,
couldn't get up. Yeah.
Arturo was mortified,
Yeah,
like and you were laughing about it afterwards, but he was mortified. He's like, you wouldn't get up.
Yeah.
What was going
You
on?
know what? Part of the reason is you guys always go down. I was the Uber. I drove.
Mhm.
Then you guys, gentlemen, go to knock on door left, door right. I usually sit in the car waiting for you to come back and take a picture of you or interview you. And also, it's a protocol. Remember when we first got
Yes.
Iowa, the protocol is one person drive, two person
Yes.
or three person go canvassing. If they don't come back, I supposed to call you, like for
Yes.
safety reasons, But
That's right.
anyway, that day it's all Arturo's fault. All right, Arturo, he canvassed so well, right? I was
Yes, he's a
totally
pro.
fascinated with him because
Me
that
too.
day he came with us. It's a different combination. So when we get off the car, he said, "You want to come? Let's go." So he made me to go with him, and then I was also fascinated by him because he has a whole spiel of like talk to people the way
Oh
he
yeah.
talk. It's so convincing. So I was
Yes.
watching him, and I even want to video him. I said, "Can I video you?" He said, "No, no video." So
No
so
video.
anyway, so I was watching him. I did not watch my feet. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
okay. Yep.
I tripped and I fell down. My whole body like just come down. So and then he dropped his flag because he was holding a flag says YouTube
YouTube
Yang.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
his flag actually made a noise. Then you can hear us.
I heard
So
it. I
yeah,
heard it. We were
yeah,
we were several feet away from you, like a
yeah.
couple hundred feet away from you, and we
Yeah.
could hear it.
So
Wow.
so his flag went down, and then there was like he was freaked out, and I didn't get up for 5 minutes, and so all of these I actually managed to made it in the film. Without me really falling, but just having him tell the story because he told me the
Yeah.
story when we go back to the car. So we both went to Walgreens and and to wash my hand because it was full of blood, and
Yeah.
my nose or here was scraped, and then my teeth was chipped. Yeah. So
Wow.
and then that night we went to bowling alley. Remember?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I
And
got a
then
spare. A strike.
yeah, and my
Strike.
face
I got a
looks
strike.
weird, like all
Yeah.
crooked.
Yeah. That was
But anyway,
unexpected drama, but
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
it made it into the film. See,
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah,
This wasn't planned, it wasn't orchestrated, it's something that happened, but it's all part of the story.
yeah,
These are what comes with canvassing.
right,
Canvassing is like you're going out there and it's like you don't know what the terrain's going to be.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know if it's going to be you don't know if it's going to be clean. You
yeah,
don't know if it's going to be dirty. You don't
yeah,
know if it's going to be welcoming or not. I mean,
right.
you're in
Yeah.
strange territory.
Nick,
Uh,
your Wi-Fi is a little spotty. Do you
oh,
have other things you want to close it down, like other things sharing your Wi-Fi? Your Wi-Fi may be too crowded with like make sure like your phone is off or other
oh,
application. Yeah. Sometimes
mm,
if you have too many things on your computer, it also
mm,
slows down. Because I
oh,
see little spotty. Yeah. But
little
anyway,
spotty. Okay.
Wang Dormai. Hi,
Mm,
how are you, young gun? Thank you guys for being with us. We're here to talk about my young gun diary with my partner, canvassing partner, and what do you call crime? How do you say that? Crime.
partner in crime. PIC, partner in crime.
Partner in
Partner
crime.
in canvassing,
Yeah.
PIC, partner in
Yeah.
canvassing. There we go.
Canvassing. Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, we canvassed in New York City, in Connecticut, and also in Iowa, and then finally in New Hampshire. And for those of us do not know the dynamics of why people go to Iowa, why we go to New Hampshire, can you just quickly tell us what's the historical reasons?
Sure, of course. Well, with Iowa, they have a special way of voting. It's called caucusing. And that is the very first event of the presidential campaign season or primary season, I should say. And that's the first caucus, right? And then right after Iowa is New Hampshire, and New Hampshire is first in the nation as far as a primary, a traditional primary, to see, who is going to get the most votes in that state. And that sets the tone for the season. So what did we learn from the last one with the caucus? We learned that there was an app that was incorporated called Shadow. which is very shady in my opinion, no pun intended. But and apparently that had some connections with Pete Buttigieg in his campaign and stuff. So it's almost kind of like a rigging going on. But he ended up winning the Iowa caucus, if I remember right. It was Pete Buttigieg, right? If I remember correctly. And then it was Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire, if I remember correctly. So that really sets the tone for Iowa. They have a big responsibility to get together, and they will decide on who they want. And then the candidate has to reach a certain percentage. I think it's like 15% to get delegates, right? But even in a caucusing atmosphere, if someone doesn't make the cut, someone has to go with another candidate, that sort of thing. So then it gets boiled down to, who's going to get the most delegates, who's going to win at this caucus site, that kind of thing. But because of the app and the technology, there's a big mix up, and then there was no final announcement of who won that night, typically, or even the day after. So when Andrew Yang arrived in New Hampshire, there was still no winner yet. So that was a real mess. That might even be the last caucus, to tell you the truth. I think the caucus might be a carcass after that. I think they're going to it's done.
But isn't that
Yeah.
a caucus is such a ancient method of election? Don't you think it needs to be revised or, reformed?
Yeah, it's very social, and a lot of people get together in a space. And because of COVID, I don't know. I don't think the caucus is gonna be around for 2024, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be revamped. It's gonna be done differently, I think.
And plus, a lot of people don't come out. A lot of people
That's
don't
true.
come out. Yeah.
Some people don't have
Remember
a car, have a way of getting
you
there.
went to you and Yunjie went to
Yeah.
canvassing, and the
Yes.
old couple said, "Yeah, what they say."
I remember that. They're like, no. It's like, we're too old and we're not going to show up in person to caucus. So I was like, okay, you don't force anybody, you just don't put any pressure on them. Just respect the decision. There are a good amount of Iowans who don't participate. They
Right.
don't caucus. I would hope that their grandchildren or, other members of their family did, so kind of go on their behalf, so to speak. Hey, go because I can't go. Hopefully that was a priority.
Right.
But yeah, it is very much an old-fashioned get-together type of thing, and it's about persuading each other and talking
Yeah.
it out, and it's a long, drawn-out kind of a process.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very
if the whole
controversial.
thing, if you're pretending you're the campaign manager, okay, pretending, what do you think is the problem? What could we do better?
What I think we have to do better is, and I think that it's been achieved, is the name recognition. There wasn't really that much name recognition in Iowa, in those early states at the time. I mean, in certain pockets, yes, you had Yang Gang, right, and in surrounding states, but it just wasn't the same because he wasn't a seasoned politician. But his name is out there more. He's done what he wanted to do, and that was to get universal basic income on the map. He achieved that by running for president.
Right.
Also, it exposed the dirty dealings with the DNC as well. We saw what happened with Bernie Sanders. We saw what happened last time around, and in wanting, whoever they wanted, you know what I mean, trying to put up their, I would say, establishment candidates, puff them up, basically. So that shows issues with the system, right? So I believe Andrew Yang's campaign did expose that and laid that bare for us to see. So it's like, it didn't just happen with Bernie Sanders. It happened with Andrew Yang, remember, let Yang speak, and not getting the kind of coverage that he deserved for where he was in the polling, and MSNBC, getting his name wrong, picture wrong, all these different things, all these shenanigans, basically, right?
Right.
What else can we learn and do better? I would say we get more into the, let's see, it's just getting more down to the nuts and bolts of what the policies are. There are a lot of policies, over 130 policies, right?
160.
60, sorry, over 160 policies. My mistake. Didn't mean to shortchange. Anyway, it's been a while. Shortchange. Right? And being able to distill those more and get that message across to everyday Americans that may not be familiar with the terminology, right? And also speak to their issues in a way that is relatable. I know we did the math and the figures and everything, but they're like, oh man, people may just get frustrated because they might think it's too complicated. I think we can make it simpler in how we present it. And so I think that's, something that we could do as well next time around.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, merch was awesome. and it got a lot of attention.
Right.
I just think as far as what needs to happen next time, it was very fun loving and lighthearted at times. But when you are running for president of the United States, and if you're supporting a candidate, it's important to have more gravitas. What I mean by that is take it more seriously. Get serious about the real issues, and be consistent with that. I know it's important to get exposure in the beginning and be seen, and that was a good thing about the first campaign. But the second campaign, it's gotta have more, I would say, gravitas and maturity to it, and that way it will appeal to people across the political spectrum as well as the generational gap too.
So
Gotta
what do you
bridge
think?
that.
Do you think he may run 2024 or 2028? What do you think?
Good question. Not really sure about 2024. It's like, yeah, that's something we all, the Yang Gang, or Forward Party people, would love to see, right? But maybe more realistically, 2028. I want that day to come. I want to see that day where I can vote for Andrew Yang. I never got the chance to do it. He didn't even get to do that in the primaries. He had already, suspended his campaign, and I couldn't do it in New York. I'm not a New Yorker. So from there, so I want to vote for him for president someday. So I'm looking forward to
I'll
that.
say it one more time. People, if you want to know who Andrew Yang is, if you don't know him, seriously, read this book, Forward. Seriously, I did it. Nick did it. I listened to it. Nick listened to it. It's really amazing. Yeah. He's very authoritarian, and yet he's very personal. He read the whole book by himself, and it's like he has this ability to tell story, right?
Yes.
It's like he's so personal, so detailed, so intimate, right?
Yeah.
He has nothing to hide. He just tells you everything. He curses, in his book. we all like cursing, So yeah, me. So I curse a lot. So so it's really amazing. And he finally said, I bugging him to watch the film. And since last year January, when I finished the film, and his campaign said they don't want to mix 2020 presidential thing with his mayoral thing. So they did not use this film in any capacity, which I think it's wrong, because my film is very much a complimentary of Andrew Yang, like why people support him, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It builds the foundation, and it's also a bridge, I would say. Like, I love at the end, it said you had the exact date when Andrew Yang said he's going to start, the Forward Party, right? At the very end. So it's like, this is the first part of a movement. Or I like to say this, on February 11th, 2020, a campaign ended, but a movement was born right away. Even someone in the audience, someone there in attendance, she said, "It's a movement." She shouted it. I remember her. I think her name was it Christine? I think it was Christine Donahue. I think that's her. She said that out loud. It's a movement, and that's exactly what it was, and it started right there.
Right.
In New Hampshire, in that room at the what was it called? The Pilgrim or the Puritan? It was called the Puritan.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there.
So I think people say his campaign for his mayoral is not wise enough for him to win. And so
Mhm.
anyway, Andrew Yang finally watched this film, and he made a quote. He says, "A beautiful film that will make you believe in people." That's pretty awesome, huh?
That sums it up right there. That's I think that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've wanted that for a long time, but then
Yeah.
you finally got it. And I think
Yeah.
that hits
Yeah.
the nail on the head of what the My Yang Gang Diary is. It's
Yeah.
exactly that.
So we're here to talk about My Yangon Diary, which is available on Vimeo on demand. And please, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can go to a link on my website, not my website, on My Yangon Diary website, which I gave you a link. Also, yeah, in here, this one. Yeah, because if you type into My Yangon Diary into Google, it has lots of things. It doesn't show this website because it's too new. And thank you, Nell. Nell actually initiated to me, says you need a website. Yeah, so he helped me to establish the first version, and then I keep adding more stuff in. So I'll on the website you get to see some reviews, get to see people's press. We were I was interviewed by two, and there's more, and photos of us, and then trailer. I probably put a couple of scenes did not make to the film, right? I could put some of them.
Right.
So yeah, so check our website and support us, and support Yangan, and buy the book or buy the audio. So I listen to the audio. Yeah. So I will end this very soon and just finish my list of people I want to thank to. Uh, this list is the whole the what do you call, you can see the whole credits on the website, but
Mhm.
these people, they they speak in the film. Yeah, but people
Yeah.
did not speak the film does not mean they're not good. It's just could be the audio is not good, or it's too long, or is not usable. Yeah, but these are the people: Sam Branson, Virginia; Jack Chan, New Hampshire; Philip Chun, New Mexico; Adam Burton, California; Henry Duhart, Florida; Fulton Ho, New York; Ming Jiang, Minneapolis; Yunjie Li, New York; Edward Lee Vassell, New Hampshire; Joy Lowe, New Jersey; Jose Maciel, Pennsylvania; Fred Ramin, Arizona; Nick Rivera, Connecticut; Arturo Watts, New Hampshire; Ron Wu, New York; of course, Andrew Yan. Yeah, so these are the people. They had a more sentence in it in the film, and then I had a extra camera: Adam Burton, Jack Chan, Henry Duhart, Will Kong, Keung, Yunjie Li, and also Nick Rivera. An extra editor: Peter Manku, Vivian Xu, and my production assistant is Nick Rivera. And our photographer is Jimmy Ban, and graphic design is Nell Nievius, which is in here, and I did most of cinematographer. Yeah, and this film is not possible with all the music, which I mentioned early. Also, music by let's see. Oh, my string trio. I used my string trio's old music, play the Chinese folk song, Jade String Trio, which I play the viola. And who else? It's About Time. It's a very beautiful song by John Pussadart, who is a New York songwriter and singer and guitar player. He let me use his music. His music is very much copyrighted. When I put my film on YouTube, and YouTube gave me a warning, says it's a copyrighted.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
even though you
but
got his permission. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have all the musicians' permission, but that doesn't mean I don't want to show my movie on YouTube anyway. So I didn't fight. And then music by Roy Sasaki is I also interviewed him on my program recently, who is a New York Japanese trumpet player. His music is jazz. It's very, very good. And then last is not least is songs called Vlagens. I don't know how to say that. Vlagens. This was music I found when I was visiting Portugal. These two musicians play on the street of Porto, Portugal. It's beautiful. It's like guitar music,
Yes,
and
yes.
very, very relaxed, very soulful, and very joyful. Yeah. So I use that music. So these are, and also I forgot my brother Evan Chan's music. It's called it's called Before It's Too Late. The title is so appropriate, right?
It is. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Definitely.
used this music at the end of the film, and also myself played on electronic violin to end the piece. It's called Edward. It's called Lovers Greetings. So during COVID, lots of musicians play that piece. It's like a memory to someone lost. Lovers
Oh,
Greetings. So
see.
yeah, it's a very this composer is from Romantic period. I think
Oh,
it's
wow.
English composer. Yeah. So anyway, anything else you wanted to address, a shout out?
Wow,
Nick?
address this shout out. Wow. Woo. Yeah, you put me on the spot because it's just like I have so many ideas. But anyway, I'm just happy that everyone is here. Everyone who is participating, and notice some names here. I know I'm like trying to look without my glasses, and that's not working. Oh, I did want to say this about my Yang Gang Diary. Like my main takeaway, I was watching it, before this, and made a couple of notes. So I wanted to say that it was a surreal experience watching the documentary again in this form. Very, very polished, the 90 minutes and all the different editions and everything. It's just refined, a scrapbook of a film chronicling the passion and dedication of a set of ideas and principles, not merely a cult of personality. It's not about a person. It really is about our country. That was a big difference there. A vision of what the United States can be when it thinks harder about how it measures success and how truly nuanced it is beyond the stock market and GDP, and really zones in on what matters to everyday Americans. So I'm really happy to have been a part of it.
This is a person that has a history degree. So yeah, so as in speaking, very well said, very well said. And I wanted to thank you, Nick. I don't know if I would be so crazy if I did not meet you, if I did not have met you. No, how do I say that? So you inspire me, and I didn't think I was that sensitive in terms of politics or the whole Yang movement at the very beginning of my joining. So look at you, canvassing in Times Square from the NBC, and later on, Universal Basic Income March, you came again from Connecticut, right? And
the first one.
yeah,
Yes.
the first one, and you get
Yeah.
lost. You get lost in New York City, and a lot of things. So we went through ups and downs, and remember that the scene I added it in. The first version didn't have it. I added in when we were raising money for Andrew Yan. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and watching the bar move.
Yeah.
It was midnight was the deadline, right? And I was like, oh no, I don't think we're gonna make it. It was 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then it was moved to Pacific time. So I was like, all right, we're gonna make that deadline, that fundraising deadline.
Yeah, that was like I was like, shit, you know.
That's
So
a last minute thing.
when I was editing it, I put the shit really low volume.
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's like, so eventually it's like we're about like a few seconds before the Eastern time. We want to
Right.
meet 2 million. It did
Yeah.
not meet me, so they switched to Pacific time. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
And for some reason, I whispered, like it was
Yeah.
almost like ASMR. I was like,
Yeah.
look, they changed the time over here. Yeah, they switched it to Pacific time. Look.
As if somebody's listening to us.
Right. Like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know.
But that scene is very good because it's contrasting to all the like screaming and yelling we do, you know. And
Mhm.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden we're like so quiet, and I really like that scene. You know, it's a contrast to all the loudness, right?
Yeah. No, I saw Nell's comment, said no rapid fire questions for Nick.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
funny.
really wonderful. I think I already said before in some of my oh yeah, you guys check. I have, after Andrew Yang stopped his campaign, we actually met many times online on this forum, talked with, you know, as little as one person, right? Like you and me, just like that, or as many as like 10 altogether, right? So we
Right.
pick each other. Yeah, we comfort each other. We talk about things. And so you guys can check. It's called Yang and Han. We
Mhm.
talk about. And then also I wanted to conclude that I feel I totally, like you said, I do not regret what I spent time. Yeah, I pretty much spent all my time. I quit my job. You know, nobody's but I need to also thank my husband. You know, he's like, he doesn't say anything. He just let me do anything. You know, it's like, so it's like I'm not making money. People say, how'd you do that? You know, I just
Yeah.
spend money. I spend money.
So
So yeah, go ahead.
you made a sacrifice, you know, in quitting your job so you could, you know, volunteer for Andrew Yang full time, freely, right, as you said. And I just want to encourage everyone to watch the film, purchase the
Joe is
film,
here. Hi, Joe.
Vimeo on demand. Do
Yeah.
it. You won't regret it. And it's a masterpiece. It really is a trip down memory lane. It will give you nostalgia, might make you shed a tear or two, definitely will make you laugh. And it's just wonderful to see. It is a masterpiece. It's a
Thank you.
masterpiece for the Yang Gang. It is a love letter.
You're
It's a love
prejudiced.
letter. Yes, I am. I'm very much biased because I'm in so many parts of the movie and I'm a production assistant. So my bias, full disclosure, is there. But
Yeah.
seriously, even if I wasn't, I would say, you know, treat yourself. Watch the film, rent it, buy it, tell others about it, because it's wonderful. It's just
Yeah, thank
wonderful.
you. Oh, I wanted to also mention I in the new version, do you remember? I added Ted Lee. Is it Ted? Tim Lee. Tim
Tim.
Lee.
Yes.
Tim Lee is a wine owner. He owns the winery. He's only 20 some years old, 27 maybe. And
Yes.
he made a really nice interview. And at the
He
first
did.
version, I did not put in. I don't
Yeah.
remember why. But when I watch again, I added he speaks really slowly, very methodically, very philosophically, and covered a lot of aspects of the movement. So shout out for Tim. Yeah. But anyway,
Shout
thank
out
you.
to Tim.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I also want to say that I feel I am a better person, you know, before this. I'm a better person than before I joined this movement. Although sometimes I have to say I still feel kind of lonely in terms of people around me. Not very many people are Yangan, because I meet you and the Yangan, right?
Yeah.
People who are my friends, like like friends, neighbors, or my girlfriend, best girlfriend, and they're now younger. So, but in the other hand, I think I don't know. I think it takes time to understand someone, right? It takes some to understand Andrew Yang. It's like if they were with me at the same time, like I experienced you guys, maybe will change them. You see what I mean? Because they're not me. They're not
Right.
there.
Yes.
I was there. I was moved by you guys, you know? So anyway.
I'm sure they can't help but be moved though by what you did, you know. So
I hope so. So
yes.
in conclusion, please watch my Yangon Diary, and it's you will get the whole feel of all us, you know, being so crazy about the movement, crazy about Andrew Yang, and crazy about the principle of humanity. Yeah, make America think harder. Yeah, right. Okay, so thank you guys for watching us. I do this interview style. Today feels like I'm interviewed by Nick, but I do this style every week, Wednesday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I see a lot of you are here. Maybe it's because it's 6 o'clock. So I may consider move to 6 o'clock and more people can join us. And also, if you have not joined Clubhouse, it's a new app. It's an audio app, right? So I learned so much from Clubhouse for people, and I met so many wonderful people on Clubhouse. So you may want to consider join Clubhouse. And on Clubhouse, I also host a room, a club. I host a lot of clubs actually, but one club is very consistent every Friday at 12 p.m. I and my filmmaker friends, we talk about smartphone filmmaking because my Yangon Diary was made on iPhone 11, right?
Yeah.
Right? You're the witness. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not making it up,
absolutely.
right?
Nope,
Because
not at all.
people see the movie, they say, I can't believe this is made on iPhone, you know?
Yeah. It's not big, fancy, big camera all over the place, carrying it around, you know, tripods everywhere. It's taking up space. Like, excuse me, let me bring this piece of equipment through. No. It was done very, like, it was very smooth. It
And
wasn't
also
really
with the
noticeable.
smartphone, Nick, with the
Mhm.
smartphone also, sorry, I supposed to end this session. I'm not ending it. With the smartphone, you can get away with certain things, you know, right? Because people don't take you seriously. Like people don't know you are making movie.
Yeah. They underestimate you. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so use your smartphone to shoot, and
Yes.
discreetly, so and some really tender moment I did not put in. There's a lot of tender moments, so maybe I should put it in on my website, on the website, so people can see the other side. Because we had one thing I have to say, thank you so much, you know, you're being so brave, and you're being very frank, you're being very, how do you say, open. Remember we had a breakfast meeting and we talk about mental healthness.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that
I did
morning.
not put it in because I don't want people to feel self-conscious of, you know, like admit their brain is fucking screwed, you know.
Exactly. They don't want to be singled. People don't want to be singled out like that. That's for sure. But it was a good session for us.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good session, right? I called for breakfast for mental health, you know, help. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, and I really appreciate all of you. Yeah. Now you rock. Von Doramo. How do I say that?
Von Doramo.
Dorama. Hi, Gwen.
Doramo.
Yeah, Jolie and Jolie. Let's see, Sharkfin. Sharkfin has a name. Let's see, Doreen. Dauren. How do you say that? Doreen.
Doreen. Where are you seeing?
Doreen. Go higher. 7:42 p.m.
Doran. It looks like Doran, like Lauren.
Doran. Okay, Doran. Doran said she bought. Is it Doran is a guy or girl? A girl, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to assume anything. That's
Okay,
the thing.
Doran
Yes.
bought the film. Thank you so much. And yeah, and so I just want to thank all of you join us, and it's a lot of fun. And I haven't physically seen Nick since when? Since I dropped you off at your house. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's yeah.
No,
I mean,
I
it's
haven't seen you since February 2020.
February 2020. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
yeah, when you really think about it, how much time has gone by. I do
Yeah.
want to say hi to Shark FinTech. You asked me, it's like, hey, say hi to one of our viewers here. So hi, Shark FinTech, and just want to thank everyone for
Another
joining us.
person's name is Jeccalego. I don't know how to say that. It's at 6:43 p.m. You
Oh,
have to scroll. Yeah.
6:43. Okay, let me scroll
I don't
up
know
a
how to
bit
say the
here.
name. I wasn't a
Okay.
fan of his mayoral campaign managers. He said.
Oh, okay,
He
yes.
wasn't fan.
It
Yeah.
says Jeccalego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, thank
So,
you. Thank you.
yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, we didn't. Hopefully, we didn't miss anyone who's with us. Peter Manku actually is working tonight, so he cannot be with us all the time. Nana Koch, thank you so much. Nana is my husband's friend from Rockland County, and this broadcast is streamed by StreamYard and going to YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. So thank you so much. All right, Nick, so good to see you.
Okay. Good
You
to see
look
you
good.
too, Ching.
You look
Thank you
good.
so much. You do too. You do too. All right. Healthy
Thank
Yang
you.
Gang.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with me, and
course.
such a last minute notice. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
My pleasure. Happy to do it.
Guys, yeah. Oh, my friend Snow Sugar, my friend Yokiko was here, and T Cloud was here earlier. Okay, thank you so much. And all right, we're gonna say goodbye. Okay, for a
Okay.
real one. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Yang Gang.
Bye.